So,
Shut. Okay. So what was I going to talk about? I don't even. Okay, but let me tell you why I'm salty.
Happiness. Something everyone wants, something that no one can achieve. We are taught from a young age to be happy, to do what makes us happy. However, in the midst of life lessons, education, and growing up, that one piece of information that has been placed upon us from a young age becomes lost. Because life is tough, and in life you'll have to do things that don't make you happy, things you don't always like. But how can we be pushed to do what we love, only have to learn in the future that we can't always have that? We can't always be happy. Why? This was an inquiry that hobbled into my mind and found its permanent residence in the crevices of my brain. I, myself, am a generally very positive and upbeat person. I'm the eldest child in a family of 4, 5 if you count the dog. For a mom, I have the happiest woman on the planet that radiates with energy and joy. Being surrounded by someone as happy as her probably has effects on my being. Just like my mom, I have been gifted with the happy gene. Most of the time, I tend to wake up on the right side of the bed every morning, without much consideration. I follow the advice most kids are given from a young age and surround myself with the things that make me the happiest. However, after befriending someone that isn't as lucky as me, I realized there were much grander questions that I had about the heartwarming feeling that is always desired. What even is happiness? How can we keep it? How do we encapsulate the precious feeling inside ourselves until we are glowing inside out with joy? How can anyone truly be happy? These are the thought-provoking questions that I ask myself to embark on this journey. A journey that required many hours of extensive research and a lack of sleep in the attempt to understand a concept, an emotion, something that scientists themselves still don't comprehend completely, much less a 15-year-old amateur filmmaker. However, I self-directed myself to the obligation of helping the common good by doing the thing that makes me happy, being happy. After talking to the people closest to me, in terms of geographical standing and relationship-wise, I wanted to branch out and contact different people to really have a range of perspectives in my documentary. Before I got ahead of myself attempting to become as deep philosopher as Aristotle, I had to get into the basics of the brain. The brain is what makes us up. Our whole being's inside an extremely weird and squishy ball of tissue. Although my research may seem to contradict that I am in fact not a specialist on the brain, I found someone who was. I'm pretty frustrated right now. I was editing my film and the audio with my interview with Dr. Mawani is absolutely awful. You can barely hear anything and there's super loud white noise that I've been trying to edit, and I've been trying to see if I can have any sound of like good audio, but there's nothing. I've been trying to edit. I've been editing this documentary for 2 hours now, actually probably 3, and there's nothing I can do to solve this, and I'm kind of frustrated right now, but I'll try and come up with a solution. And yeah, we'll see. I have a solution. So after thinking about it, I really want to include what Dr. Mawani said, or at least parts and aspects of it, because what he said was really, really valuable. And it's just something that I really wanted to include in my documentary in the first place. And so my solution to this is I'm going to be speaking on just the major points that I wanted to include, like when he was talking. I'm just going to be saying them to the camera. And I know this probably takes away the credibility of it just because it's me talking and not actually the source. But just know that I have the audio, it's just really bad, and he did say all these things. I just have some notes up on my laptop to the side, so I'm probably just gonna glance over there just so I can know what to say and stuff. But yeah, I know there's a lot of like skeptic people in the world that don't think that happiness is really necessary, or that just like don't think that it's like beneficial, like, oh, whatever, like I can be happy in the future, and you know, I'm just gotta focus on work right now. But there's actually a lot of positive mind and body like health benefits of happiness. First off, this wasn't directly like, he didn't say this, but I did find this in my research, that optimistic people live longer than pessimistic people. So I mean, that's just, I don't know, laying down that evidence there. You do with that what you will. But yeah, and also Dr. Mawani, he said that stress causes a lot of, you know, bad health effects on your body. It can cause a lot of, you know, just bad things for your body, and it's not very healthy. And a way to combat these stress effects are through happiness. And happiness can actually help reduce stress, obviously. And happiness can also combat the symptoms and, you know, all the bad things that stress causes on your body. And also, Dr. Mamani said that recently some hospitals in Canada have been completely getting rid of all visiting times. So there's no set time. People and family members can come visit patients 24/7. And the results of this have been that patients are actually recovering faster. And this is because, you know, just being surrounded by people that love and care about you, your body and your mind actually reacts to that, and it reacts to that love and happiness, which thus helps your immune system be better. So these are just some facts I wanted to include, just for, you know, to know that happiness isn't all like, oh, let's just all be happy, the world is a great and happy place. There's actual long-term health benefits of it. So yeah, I just thought I'd include this. And again, I'm kind of frustrated with the audio, but I hope this kind of shed some light into it. And yeah.
Dr. Mawani has a PhD in mindfulness, and of course that makes him a prime target for research on the subject. However, I also stumbled upon Ms. Chapman, a librarian at Strath, and also someone who has taken up the art of mindfulness in her daily routine and life. After she presented to my comm class about mindfulness, I knew she'd offer a different perspective than Dr. Mawani, a more personal and maybe even more relatable side to mindfulness and how it may help in someone's search for happiness.
Everybody has this feeling of not being enough in some way. So not pretty enough, not smart enough, not rich enough, not famous enough, not whatever, not enough. We always have these feelings of not enough. Mindfulness allows us to be in the present moment and to appreciate that the present moment is enough. So it ties into that idea of enoughness, like where I am right now is enough. You know, who I am right now is enough. What I have right now is enough. And to know that the present moment is all we ever have. We don't have a guarantee of tomorrow. And so if we can't appreciate what we have right now, there's this quote that's like, if you aren't happy with what you have right now, what makes you think you'd be happy with more? So like, we're always wishing for more of this or more of that, but if you can't be happy where you're at right now, I often find that with my kids, that I'm always thinking, I get nostalgic about when they were little babies, or I think, oh, it's gonna be so cool when they're this age and we can do this thing. But I have to think, like, they're only this age today, right now. They're this age, and I have to appreciate who they are and where they're at right now. The opposite of mindfulness is mindlessness, like this feeling of being on autopilot all the time. And what the research shows is that that doesn't make us more productive. It doesn't make us more successful. It just makes us more exhausted and overwhelmed. I think when you're like a small child and you don't have those pressures of maybe additional extracurriculars or academic pressures, you have a little bit more time for just free play. And that's something that I see coming up right now a lot for adults, is like, are you making space for play in your life and making space for rest? And I definitely see that teenagers and young adults are being brought into this busy world sooner, and feeling like that productivity is more important than presence, and that busyness is a badge of honor. Like, if you do all the things, then that makes you a more successful person. That's gonna be different for everyone. Some people really like to do lots of things, and some people need more downtime. So it's a personality thing too. So I think what I advocate for is just like knowing who you are and knowing what you need. Never think that happiness is the goal. The goal is to really be okay with things as they are. John Kabat-Zinn talks about laying out the welcome mat for things as they are. And that to me is like the cornerstone of mindfulness, is to recognize that things are not always going to be blissful. Life is going to be difficult and it's going to be wonderful, but can you just lay out the welcome mat for life as it is and appreciate the good and notice the bad and just be with it and know that it's going to pass and things will change. So I think that's what allows me to be happy, is to just have that mindset of mindfulness, I guess.
After interviewing 2 people that are experienced in mindfulness, I wanted to steer away from those who actively sought happiness through mindfulness and research to someone who didn't necessarily seek it, but did find it. Abby Stanek luckily got me in contact with an entrepreneur/band manager named Brent King. Mr. King is someone that has completely reinvented his life. He began a career in the sciences, at first wanting to be a doctor, but then switching paths and creating his own medical device company instead. After retiring at an early age, he became the manager of a country band. Brent is living proof that one can accomplish their dreams, and that it even may take time to find your dreams and what you're passionate about. But if you follow what you're passionate about, happiness is sure to come.
Sorry. Oh shoot. Okay, I'm about to call Brent right now. Hold on. It's 7:49. I'm calling him at 7:50. I'm waiting that extra minute. Actually, whatever. Let's just call him right now.
I wanted to do well while I was doing good, which meant I wanted a job that I could make some good money at, but I also wanted to do something that, you know, brought some good into the world. So at the end of the day, I could look back at what I was doing and said, you know, that's great. You made some money and you were successful. But I also wanted to be able to say that I've actually brought some positive energy into the world and made the world a better place with what I've done. When I first started in medical devices, you know, in all honesty, I didn't know what I was doing, but it was, you know, I had the drive, the passion, and probably didn't quite know how hard it was going to be. Otherwise, I might not have done it. Type of thing. Same thing in music. I sort of jumped into it. I said, well, I don't really know what I'm doing. If I had any idea how difficult it was, I may not have tried it. But you know, I do like the challenge, and we're making some headway. It's been great. I'm really enjoying it. But I had to mix, you know, my passions and my interests in a way that worked, and also, you know, had a good chance of making a decent living. Right? I mean, if you're, you know, if your favorite thing to do is, you know, go swimming in a river every day, well, it's hard to make a living in. But if you can find a way to, like, maybe you become a marine biologist, get really interested in, you know, what's going on in the river. Like, maybe that's how you mix the two of them together. But you got to be creative and realistic. I mean, you've got to choose things that have a high probability of making you a living of some sort, but also feed you that passion as well. Spend time figuring out what you enjoy, and find a way to mix that with a career that makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, be honest with yourself about the things that you like, and then find a way to make that, to make a living doing that. Because in all honesty, I mean, you spend, you know, half of your waking hours at work as you get to be an adult. And you want to make sure that it's a fulfilling time. Because who wants to, you know, dislike half their life, right? So make sure that what you're doing is something you can enjoy, and you feel that challenge with, and you get something out of it.
Through Brent, I was able to contact the band he manages, Tucson County, and ask them a couple questions regarding their lifestyle and their career choice and, of course, happiness. Since music is something that I'm extremely passionate about, with probably my biggest accomplishment being a composition that I made on the piano and the cello. It's actually like pretty cool. I was interested in seeing what their replies would be with how music can affect one's happiness and emotions in general.
Tucson County doing our most recent single that we released to Canadian Country Radio. It's called Track 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's different stages of being in the music industry. industry. I mean, you can, you know, obviously we all strive to be that big star, making those, you know, playing those big shows and having songs on the radio, you know, all over the world and that kind of thing. And obviously those people probably make some pretty decent money unless they signed a really bad deal. But even at a grassroots level, just starting out, you know, there's ways to make money and keep things going and stay afloat. But I mean, it is a challenge, you know, to do that.
I think music is it's something that you don't even, you know, I could listen to I don't know what's an example, you know, East Indian music or something where the language, you know, I completely don't understand, but you can still interpret it, you know, through the emotions you feel through melody and through chords and tension and things like that. So I think it's such a good communicator because while you know it really is a universal type of language, music is, and it certainly brings people together all across the world. And I mean, you don't have to be to understand, you know, music. You can be from anywhere. Yeah.
Oh, exactly. You don't have to have any musical knowledge to feel it and get emotion from it. But I think one of the things about music is that it appeals to all the senses. Like, it's not just your hearing that is the only way that you experience music. I mean, when you go to a concert, you know, you're hearing the concert and you're, you know, excited that way, but you're also feeling the rhythm of it. You know, that when the music or the kick drum hits you through the speakers, like it's pounding at your chest, and then visually you're seeing the artists up on stage and the crowd enjoying it, and you know, the artists are like pouring out their heart and soul and sweating, and you can see the emotion that they're delivering to you. So I mean, I think just it appeals to all the different senses, and that's why it's such a universal language.
When you're listening to music, you know, you can't help but interpret the music and feel the music. I mean, you know, anytime anyone's ever been feeling really down or whatnot, and then they put on a sad song or something like it amplifies your emotions like times 10. Look at people who are with all their friends and are excited to go out and party and have a good time, and then someone puts on like a Bruno Mars track, and it's like, whoa, it's like times 10 again. So it can really help you interpret your own emotions, but also amplify, you know, whatever it is you're feeling.
So yeah, when you hear a song, you're right back in that moment or that memory, whether it was a going out with your friends for the weekend or you know, camping, or you know, going to a concert or whatever. It's those songs that help you remember those things. When you're doing something that you love for a living, you know, that definitely lends itself to your happiness. But I mean, happiness, you know, I think in a lot of ways is a choice. I mean, you know, having overcome insecurities and fear and even depression in some respects in my life, you know, it really is a choice to every day, sometimes every minute or every hour of that day, you have to kind of find those little affirmations that kind of force you to go, okay, I'm good.
Try to exercise just brutal honesty with yourself. You know, do things for the right reasons and be transparent with yourself and have integrity in the sense that, you know, you do only have one life to live, and, you know, everybody from cradle to the grave has, you know, people telling them what they should do, or maybe they want to appear a certain way in a social standing, so they pursue things or do things that maybe really aren't truly them. But if you're just truly brutally honest with yourself about who you are and what you love and what you want to do, and you start honestly pursuing that, or just living that, whatever that is, you'll be tremendously happier and free, because you're not bound to, you know, pretending or hiding. You can just really be yourself and love what you love and love who you love, and it's just, you're free.
Happiness, something everyone wants, something that no one can achieve. My journey throughout this process has been tremendous. I've learned things that I never knew about myself and about happiness in general. From Dr. Mawani, I learned the scientific aspects of happiness. happiness. Through Ms. Chapman, I learned about the usefulness of mindfulness. Through Brett in Tucson County, I learned that pursuing a career in what you love can be extremely beneficial to your happiness, and I continue to learn about how to be happy every single day from everyone I encounter, from experiences and adventures. George Sand said, "There's only one happiness in this life, to love and be loved." So love. Do what you love every single day, because then you'll love what you do. Love the people you care about and remind them how much you cherish them. Love your community and give back once in a while. Love yourself, and most importantly, allow yourself to be loved. By accomplishing this, a happy life may be in sight. Happiness, something everyone wants, something that no one can achieve. Maybe, one day, not so out of reach. At the end of the day, it all depends on the life we choose to live and the choices we decide to make.